Success is achieved and maintained by those who try and keep trying. W. Clement Stone. My friends, 10 to 15 minutes a day. If you will just stick with this, you will become a charting master. Just stay with it. It costs you your time, which is the most valuable thing in the world. You get no more of it. It is written in stone somewhere. Use it wisely. It disappears on a daily basis. Let's jump into these charts. We see everything up for the day except Bitcoin. What do we see happening on the S&P 500 on the weekly chart? We have a green spinning top, solid green, shows a slowdown in the down movement, some indecision. Price percent oscillator still going down, derivative oscillator going down. So on the big chart, things are looking all right. Two-day chart, what do we see as far as the S&P goes? Well, first day of the latest two-day candle, red down candle. After a two-day green open box candle, that price percent oscillator still moving down. Derivative oscillator negative, losing downward momentum. What about the half day? Down in the morning, recovered that some in the afternoon. No crossover going down on the half day, so just hang in there. Now, we did have, throughout the course of the day, the derivative oscillator continue to gain downward momentum. So we'll keep an eye on things and see if that movement down on the S&P, our shorting possibilities continue. We'll continue to watch again. Always in effect, your profit bands, your loss bands. At this point, if you jumped into that two-day recross, it has been very, very good to you. So do pay close attention to what's happening on the weekly and the two-day if you're still in that short practice trade. Now let's go to the Nasdaq 100. We see there, again, another slowdown in the down movement. For this week, we've not hit the lows of the prior week. That's part of the reason it is a solid green candle. Price percent oscillator heading down, derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. Go to the two-day. Again, right there on that two-day trend line, red down candle is forming after a prior green open box candle. That price percent oscillator still moving down a little bit. Derivative oscillator negative, losing downward momentum. And what do we see during the course of the day? Up in the morning, little up in the afternoon, sitting right there on that two-day trend line, not penetrating. Derivative oscillator still negative. Price percent oscillator positive, heading up a little bit. So we'll continue to watch and see where things are. Of course, we had on the 17th of September, the week ending then, that weekly vertical crossover going down. It has been good to us. Again, profit and loss bands in effect. Pay attention. Never a problem taking profits when it makes sense. And you should have made that plan the minute you entered that practice trade several weeks ago. That's when you do it. That's what the trade worksheet is all about. If you don't have a trade worksheet, then look in your show notes. If you don't have show notes, means you're not a subscriber. You can do that for free at chartingwealth.com. Plus, you get all the good trainings. And we have another good training for you today. The training today is do not allow the complexity of charting to scare you away. And it explains why it shouldn't. Now, let's jump back into these charts. What do we see on 20-year bonds as we leave stocks? They were up for the day, 0.97%. Green, solid green down candle for this week. Price percent oscillators almost flat. Derivative oscillator still gaining downward momentum. And that price percent oscillator, please note, it is negative. Again, it's a slowdown in the prior down movement. As we look at the two-day chart that is forming, this is the first green open box two-day candle we've seen in a while. Now that's subject to change. It hasn't finished drawing yet. It will at the close of the market on Thursday. Derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. First time that's happened in a while. Price percent oscillator negative, but heading up. So again, pay attention if you were in the down trade on bonds. What do we see with the half day? 2 days of strong up movement is what we see. So again, pay attention to that. It pushed through yesterday afternoon, the two-day trend line, and is heading up, hasn't touched it yet, but toward the weekly. So again, if you've shorted bonds, do pay close attention to what you see happening in the charts. We go to gold. Gold up for the day 1.78%. Is that not beautiful? I'm so happy to see that. We have a green open box candle. That is nice. Price percent oscillator still negative, but heading up. Is it going to cross? Who knows? One day of up movement doesn't mean that happens typically, but maybe we'll see things by the end of the week get us even closer. Price percent oscillator still negative, losing downward momentum. Like we said, derivative oscillator. I'm sorry, that's the derivative oscillator losing downward momentum. Price percent oscillator is negative, but heading up. What do we see? I mean, we have many days of 2-day Heikin-Ashi candlesticks heading up. And you know, I prematurely drew this line thinking it was Thursday. It is just Wednesday as I do this. Maybe I did that in anticipation. We don't call a candle till it finishes drawing, so we'll see how things happen on Thursday. Hopefully that up movement will continue. Derivative oscillator going positive. Price percent oscillator trying to cross over 2. We'll wait and see what happens when that candle finishes drawing. And of course you can see on the half day popping up in the morning and on up in the afternoon as things just rocket up on gold. I'm glad to see that. I like gold. I want to jump back into it. Hey, what about Bitcoin? Down for the day 1.86%. As we look at the weekly chart, you can see that this week is a nice looking week so far. Nice big green up candle wick on top. Price percent oscillator heading up. Derivative oscillator heading up. Both positive. 2-day chart. Of course, we had that 2-day, as we watched that 2-day recross occur. And for some reason, we talked about that happening, but we never moved our line over there. We will take care of that right now. And I don't know how I actually did that. We will get things moving in the right direction. So as we see what's happening, a green up candle is drawing. Price percent oscillator losing some momentum. Derivative oscillator losing momentum. Price, though, is above that 2-day trend line, well above the weekly. When we look at this half day, we can see where things peaked on Bitcoin back on Monday and really sort of devolving over the course of this week. So again, keep your eye on the prize. I hope you guys who are interested in Bitcoin have been practice trading it. You're going to learn by what? By doing, by practice trading. And of course, we started tracking Bitcoin because you asked for it. Hope you're getting a lot out of it. Those of you like Ethereum, that is also trackable on our charts. So I encourage you to check that out. And any other cryptocurrencies that are chartable and trackable, you need to be following up on those things. If that's what you're interested in, our charts work on many, many different things. It has to do with literally the way the human mind works, fear and greed, and whether or not they move in a way that you can track from past movements. Folks, that's where we are as we end the day. Thank you for our new Patreon supporters. If you just joined us on Patreon, we just sent out your initial package. Don't forget Patreon members tomorrow. 20 weekly vertical crossovers up and down. Usually we try to do 10 of each on the S&P 500. It'll be coming at you at the close of the market on Thursday. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.